Welcome back, my family. If you love that old school noir vibe, but also fast, chaotic shooters, Mouse PI for Hire is one of those games that almost hits a perfect note, but doesn't quite stick the landing. Let me break it down in a way that feels real for you guys. Right off the bat, this game absolutely drips style. I'm talking black and white rubber hose animation straight out of the 1920s and 30s. Jack, jazz music playing in the background in a world that feels like a cartoon version of a gritty detective film. The moment it starts, it pulls you in hard. It's got the same kind of entrance where you're like, yeah, I'm gonna like this. You play as Jack Pepper. Yeah, Jack Pepper. A trench coat wearing private investigator in a city full of mice called Mouseburg. What starts as a simple missing person case quickly spirals into something way bigger: corruption, political drama, mob activity, and even some surprisingly serious themes like class division and discrimination between different types of rodents. Story wise, it's actually pretty solid. It's got twist, shady characters, feminine fatales, all the classic noir, ingredients, and the writing does a good job mixing serious detective vibes with humor. There are tons of cheesy, but in a good way, jokes, clever dialogue, and world building details like newspaper and side quests that make the city feel absolutely alive. And shout out to the voice acting, especially Jack himself. He nails that sarcastic, tired detective tone perfectly. But here's where things start to get messy. The biggest issue with the game is that it doesn't fully commit to what it wants to be. On one hand, it's trying to tell this deep noir detective story where choices, clues, and consequences matter. And, well, on the other hand, it's basically a fast paced, chaotic shooter where you're mowing down enemies nonstop like a cartoon version of Doom. And those two things don't always mix well. In classic noir stories, violence means something. It has weight, it changes characters, but here, you're blasting through dozens, sometimes hundreds of enemies, and the game still tries to treat Jack like he's just a regular guy trying to make ends meet. It creates this weird disconnect where the story says one thing, but the gameplay says something completely different. Like, how am I supposed to believe this guy is struggling for money when I've wiped out half the city and stacked cash like crazy? Now, gameplay wise, there's definitely fun to be had. Movement feels great, fast, smooth, and very arcade. Like, you've got to double jump, wall running, and constant motion, which keeps fighting feeling energetic. Exploring levels is also a blast with hidden areas, collectibles, and even side activities like a card game that can eat up your time if you get hooked. Now, the environments are awesome too. You'll go from movie studios to swamps to docks, and each one is packed with little visual gags and cartoon style humor. It's the kind of game where you'll randomly stop just to look at something weird happening in the background. But the combat, yeah, the combat. It gets repetitive. Most enemies fall into two simple types: run at you and swing, and stand there and shoot. That's about it. So even though the movement and weapons feel good, the lack of enemies makes fights start to feel the same after a while. By the last part of the game, you might feel a bit burned out. And another thing, despite being a detective, you don't really do much detective work. The game kind of holds your hand the whole time. Clues get placed automatically, objectives are clear, and there's not much room to figure things out yourself. If you're hoping to actually solve mysteries on your own, yeah, that part's a bit disappointing. So where does that leave us? Mouse PI for Hire is a game that absolutely nails its style, has strong writing, and delivers a fun, fast-paced experience. It's creative, unique, and honestly refreshing compared to a lot of shooters out there. But at the same time, it struggles with its identity. The story and gameplay feels like they're pulling in different directions, and the combat doesn't have enough depth to stay exciting the whole way through. So, my final score: 8 out of 10. It's a really good game, fun, stylish, and memorable, but not quite a masterpiece. If you love noir or unique indie shooters, it's definitely worth your time. Just don't expect everything to click absolutely perfectly. Thank you guys so much for checking out my review. We'll see you on the next video. Much love. Peace.